Is there an end game or is it a new baseline?
I don't know. Do you believe George Orwell?
A little bit.
Yeah. One of the examples I use to get people to understand this is we all have our big screen TVs at home. And so you got a beer or a Coke and some chips and a wife or whatever, right? And you're watching this incredible movie. At what point do you become aware you're no longer part of this reality, you're part of that one? The answer is you don't know. The only thing that you know is when you leave that reality and return to this one. When you go to pick up this, when you go to grab this, when you go to do something that is outside of that reality, there is a complete reality shift in your mind. And when you start examining your experiences and thinking of them as reality shifts, it's about attention. How much attention and focus are you putting on a specific experience? I, as the bad guy, now want to screw with that so I can command your attention. Advertising, freebies, emotional, all of those things that affect our behavior and response. But it is about reality distortion. I have sat in groups of 2,000 and I've said, everybody close your eyes. And then I turn on a little deeper voice. And I say, we're going back to Greece, 600 BC. You're in your toga, sitting around a fire. And Homer is telling you the tales of brave Ulysses. And I go on for maybe 30 seconds like that. Then I snap them awake. And I said, how many of you were totally part of that? Roughly 80% if I'm doing my job right. I'm creating another reality based upon immersion and control of your sensory organs.
Wow. This is very powerful. So what does victory mean in the cognitive war then?
I don't know.
How do we know? How do we know we won?
Victory to me, I mean, and I'm making this up because I've never been asked the question, is where I retain control over my identity. I retain control of the get into another reality, leave another reality. If I put on my VR headsets, well, they don't really do much for me because they're so freaking uncomfortable. So I'm always aware that there's something going on.
I bumped into a few tables, by the way, yes.
So it's to increase my mental immune system, to strengthen it to the point where I'm not overwhelmed and with too much information, which will automatically distort my perceptions of reality and my reactions, but where I retain full agency of my mental processes. And I think I would call that victory.
Do you think ethics will survive and be competitive in a world that is full of pressure and AI-driven systems?
That who will survive?
Ethics.
No.
I mean, ethics pretty much disappeared from the noise that you and I are talking about, which is the internet noise.
If there were ethics, there wouldn't be Facebook.
Why Facebook?
I'm picking on them because of the amount of noise that comes through their channels and the amount of public statements that Meta and Facebook have made over the years regarding their primary goal is engagement. They don't care how they get the engagement. But we also know that negative messaging engages much higher than positive engagements.